Hello, everybody. Welcome to Shelbyville Now Live. We're going to talk a little high school football tonight. We're going to go over the games that we just saw this weekend in week one. We had Shelbyville Central playing Thursday night and Cascade, Webb, and Community playing on Saturday night. I have with me Friday night. What did I say Saturday night for? I don't even know what day it is. I got with me the probably two of the best football people around. I got Al Michaels sitting across from me, also known as Bill Anderson. And I have the original John Madden, also known as Kenny Parker. I consider him the John Madden of Bedford County. And we're going to talk a little bit about the games and how things played out. And I just want us to start out by talking about the Cascade game. I know, Kenny, you went to the Cascade game. They came up a little short. They got a little behind the eight ball quick. Tell us kind of what happened there.
Momentum, the Cascade looked like they came out a little flat. Moore County got the ball to start with and got a pretty good little attack. They've got some good athletes and a very good quarterback, and they threw it around pretty good and went in and scored. Made the game, I think they missed their extra point. And they kicked off to Cascade, and Cascade had a good little return that came out, but fumbled the ball. And Moore County recovered, and a couple of plays later, they went in, scored, and kicked the extra point, made it 13-0, and Cascade got the ball back and just didn't do a whole lot. Again, they were flat. They didn't move the ball well offensively. I thought they would be better up front than they were, and they just weren't blocking very well up front. Moore County held them, and I think went up 20-0, and then in the second quarter, Cascade got a little going and scored, but tempo of the game was decided real quick when Moore County went in and scored with that first possession, and then Cascade fumbled and Moore County answered it. And I'm going to tell you right now, this Moore County team is pretty good.
Yeah.
They don't have many seniors, but this junior group they've got when they were freshmen, they were undefeated, and they're pretty talented. This group is. And they got a good group of sophomores that's going by them. They only have 4 seniors, so Moore County's going to be a team coming down the road that's going to be pretty good in 1A ball.
Coach, Moore County's still throwing it around a lot.
Throwing it quite a bit. That's their skill. I mean, quarterback is real good. They spread the field, run a lot of what I call jet motion, give, quarterback keep, run up through there, and quarterback is the coach's son, Chris White. I forget what his boy's name is, but does a very good job running their offense.
Cascade still running the wing T, running the ball.
Well, they're in a gun.
A gun.
They're in a gun, so they're not under center.
Right.
So, they run some stuff that looks like old wing T stuff, but it's hard to be wing T when you're not under the center.
No.
Yeah.
Because you don't have the wing back reverse.
You don't have
all that motion going on.
You don't have the deception.
Yeah. So, but Cascade did win the second half. I think they scored 13 points.
Cascade played better the second half. Now,
Okay.
They did play a little better, created a few turnovers, and then scored a couple of times later in the fourth quarter. But what happened with Cascade, they started cramping a little bit. Their starting quarterback, 3 minutes into the third quarter, started cramping. And then their backup quarterback came into the game and got injured. So they tried to finish the second half of the game with 2 quarterbacks that weren't of health.
Right.
And it definitely hurt them.
Defensively, what's Cascade running now?
To me, it looked like it was a 3-3-5. Okay. And I don't know if that was because of what Moore County was trying to do.
Right,
because
yeah.
Moore County would have trips to one side, twins to one side. They'd have trips to one side, put a guy in motion, and run a sweep.
How has the defensive changed? Back in the day when you were at Shelbyville and I was doing radio, why tackle 6? Remember those days when Coach Thaxton was here? Because everybody ran the wing T. But things have changed, and you've got these spread offenses. So defensively, what do you do for that?
I couldn't coach today.
I don't see how you can account for everybody.
I couldn't coach the way the rules are today because they don't let you practice.
Yeah.
They don't let you practice. You cannot, and it's not the kid's fault.
No.
You can't go 2 days in a row, full pads with contact. And when you have contact, you only have so many minutes a day of contact. And I've always said, if I got back into coaching, the most valuable player on my team would be my manager with a stopwatch.
Yeah.
And when we snapped the ball, you start to watch, and when it was over with, you stopped it. And that's why we're going to get our 30 minutes or whatever it is. But you can't, and it's going to show.
How can you be physical
when
you're not physical and play? How can you be physical?
I mean, just take the game Friday night that I saw. Opening game, 72 degrees.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Yeah.
And kids cramping.
Right.
They're not going full speed during the week.
Well, you can't get it during the week now. A lot of that's got them. They've got to take care of their bodies, and that's on them. But when you don't go hard during the week, and you can't go hard every day, and you go in shorts and a shoulder pad or a shorts and a helmet, and then you just can't get it, and you can't get physical.
The old days of 2-a-days are over, right?
Yes.
It's just over.
It's over.
It's over.
It's over. And if you do 2-a-days, one of them's going to be shorts and a helmet, and that's it.
And the other one's going to be in a classroom probably.
You can't. I mean, the days of practicing and getting down into
Then
it.
if you've got a kid, and let's say, and a lot of these kids, especially Central and Cascade and Community, have to go both ways because of lack of depth. Well, then all of a sudden you got a guy. I'm not saying he's not in shape. How can he go both ways when he hadn't practiced? And you're asking him to play middle linebacker and running back or quarterback.
Now, I'm gonna tell you what, Moore County was doing it. Now, and I think the way
Not surprised.
The way you get that is you don't start in August.
Right.
It's year round.
Right.
It's year round weightlifting. It's year round running. It's year round conditioning. And if you're not doing it, you can't catch that up. And
now the 7-on-7s that everyone's doing, does that help with this any?
Well, it's got to help some, but
it's not going to help with your linemen. It's basically just a 7-on-7, meaning your skill position players, right?
Position players. You can work your defense in with that, but
Well, what part of the team do you think suffers the most because of that lack of contact? You think it's the lineman?
The lineman and hitting somebody.
D-line linebackers.
If you don't know how to hit, listen. Football is a collision game.
Yeah, it is.
Yep.
Football is a collision game, and if you can't teach collision,
correct,
you can't play football. And
nope,
if you're scared to hit somebody, you're not going to be a very good football player.
correct.
Now, you might be able to outrun somebody, but sooner or later you're going to get hit.
Yeah.
And sooner or later you're going to have to block. And football is a collision game, and you got to be able to know how to hit. You got to be able to know how to take a hit. You got to know how to be able to get off of contact.
Was Cascade able to throw the ball much the other night?
Not a whole lot, not consistently.
Gotcha.
I go back, Bill. I'm one of those old guys. Coach Bryan at Alabama used to say, when you throw the ball, only 3 things can happen, 2 of them are bad.
Yeah,
Well, that's not me. I'm gonna tell Coach Bryan the days have changed. 4 things can happen, and 3 of them are bad.
Right.
Because when you throw the ball, you go catch it. That's the only good thing happens.
Yeah.
It's gonna be incomplete. It's gonna be intercepted, and the clock's gonna stop. And when the clock stops, that means your defense got to play more ball.
Yeah.
Go back to UT.
Puts you in a negative.
Tennessee plays that high tempo stuff.
Yeah.
They'll score a lot of points, but you look how many snaps the defense has got to play.
And a 3 and out lasts them about 40 seconds.
That's right. And it's over. And the defense got to get back over.
Well, let's talk about Cascade moving forward this week. They got to play Cannon County, which got thumped by Monterey. Now, I don't know how these teams are going to stack up, but you would think Cascade will get an opportunity maybe to gain a little confidence.
Well, I'm going to tell you just like this. With what I saw the other night, it ain't the size of the dog in the fight.
Right.
It's the size of the fight in the dog. Right. And if the dog don't fight harder Friday night than it did last week, it's going to be a long season.
So what you're saying is Mr. Jake's got to get some fighting dogs going.
Those kids have got to get to fight, and they got to get to wanting it.
Right.
And just because they went 8-2, 9-1, I'm not sure what their record was last year. It was a very good record. Hey, that was last year's team. This is this year's team. You're not going to be remembered by what you did last year. You're going to be remembered what you did this year.
Yep, exactly.
And when they're ready, now physically, they can play if they play. Now they've got what it takes, and Coach Tyre knows they've got what it takes, and he'll get it out of our body language. I thought they just thought because they won 29-14 last year, and they got several people back that they're going to walk out there and win. I think I'm hoping we'll see a different Cascade team this week.
When's the last time Monterey was really pretty good? When Coach Lewis and Coach Fuller were up there, you remember that?
They were there.
And they made a nice run up there at Monterey.
Yeah,
they got some good Lewis were there. But they've been much good since then. I can't.
Yeah,
remember
they've had a couple of not consistently, but
talk about a hard place to win. That's a hard place to win.
oh yeah, that's a.
I know y'all familiar with Monterey.
That is a home. It's a home game. Thank goodness Cascade's got the home.
Cascade's at home with no, they're playing Cannon County.
Cannon County. I thought we said Monterey.
Yeah, well,
Monterey
County
Cannon
beat
played.
Monterey. Sorry, I'm
Gotcha.
sorry.
I played at Monterey when I was a senior.
Did you?
We went to Monterey.
Oh yeah.
The one thing about a Cascade game that I don't think y'all out there realize, that's some of the best concession food at that place. I'm serious, Kenny. The food is great out
about
there.
that.
It's good.
I have to have a country ham sandwich before I
country ham.
Oh, they've got barbecue.
Let me tell you.
Sometimes they do fish.
Mr. Craig Lynch cooks a country ham sandwich.
Absolutely.
I'm there, buddy. I'll be there.
Absolutely.
All right, let's look at their region. They've got Summertown, Loretto, Forest, Richland, Mount Pleasant. Okay. Who's going to be the top dog and who's going to be the contender in that?
Well, I'm just looking. Forest is usually pretty good. They're usually pretty consistent. Mount Pleasant has got athletes.
Yeah, they go to Columbia
and depend on what kind of season they're having and what kind of game they're having. Depends on how hard they want to play.
Yeah.
Okay. Richland is up and coming. They got a new coach last year, had a good season. They beat Cornersville pretty good Friday night.
31-20 was the final score. Cornersville's always they're a solid program.
Now Summertown this year, they've changed coaches. I know Coach Ricky Rice that used to be at Wayne County was the head coach at Rockvale, is now at Summertown. So I don't know what they're going to have. And then there's one more, isn't there? Cascade, Forest,
Summertown, Loretto. They beat Collinwood.
They did.
Yeah, well, yeah, you just gonna have to play.
Yeah. So that's gonna be a pretty tough region.
Pretty tough region. You're gonna have to play.
Go back when Coach Vance Blues over at Columbia, and I went over there for something, and they were scrimmaging Mount Pleasant.
Mm-hmm.
Scrimmage. We were shocked. The Mount Pleasant kids were bigger than the kids Vance had at Columbia. They had a fullback that was just giant. I'm going, oh my goodness.
Yeah, they've always got some pretty good athletes.
You'll be shocked.
Somebody told me the other night I was at the Moore County game, and they said Mount Pleasant's got a kid that they're all talking down there like old Marco Daly. And I'm gonna tell you right now, if they got another Marco Daly down there, it's gonna be pretty tough.
All right. Well, that wraps up Cascade. Before we move on, I'd like to thank our sponsors. We've got First Bank of Shelbyville as a sponsor. And we also have Craig and Wheeler Realty and Auction. Let's take a quick break and get a word from them, and then we'll come right back and jump in and talk about Shelbyville Central's game.
Their quarterbacks from
All right, everybody, welcome back in. We've got Shelbyville Central up on the slate now. Thursday night game, Shelbyville faced Tullahoma, defending 4A state champs. Of course, they've lost a lot. They lost their quarterback. They still got some good, talented athletes over there. Shelbyville fell short, 16-7. I know, Kenny, you were there. You was watching it close. I was watching it.
What a crowd!
Yeah,
I mean, about as good a crowd for a high school
Yeah,
venue.
pretty good
I
crowd.
mean, I heard up to 4,000 people.
Pretty good crowd.
So, Coach, what was your take on that one?
I thought the teams were pretty evenly matched. I think overall, Tullahoma may have been just a little better, but the difference in that ball game was the kicker,
Grant Chadwick.
and you know, reading up after that, he was a punter. He's just a punter coming in. He's supposed to be one of the top punters in the state. His brother was their kicker last year, and up until this summer, he'd never kicked with the ball on the ground.
Wow.
He just started. His brother taught him how to kick, and I'm telling you, he was pretty impressive. Now, I'll say this for Shelbyville. They battled. I didn't have a roster. I didn't know any of the kids. Come to find out after it was over with, they're pretty young.
Yeah, they're very young.
8 seniors on the entire team. 8.
And I thought they battled. They had a chance. They had the ball going in right at the in the second quarter, and had to turn it over on downs inside the 5.
That was a first and goal.
It was a first and goal. If they score and are successful with the extra point,
did we have a touchdown callback or not?
They'll take the lead.
Didn't we have a touchdown callback?
I think that was in the third quarter. And that happened to be right in front of me. The Mac Big Boy 53 intercepted one.
Pick six.
He actually ran out of bounds. Everybody on Shelbyville side saw it,
right?
and they called a roughing the passer. But they was going to give him 6. The official didn't see it, and
but they did. This happens.
They
didn't tackle the quarterback. He just touched him. He didn't even tackle him. Right?
They tackled him, but they was tackling him when he threw it.
So it wasn't a late hit or a blow to the head or anything like that.
To me, watching it, I thought it was a pretty good high school football play.
And at the time, that would have put the extra point Shelbyville up 14-13. Instead, Tullahoma on the same drive goes down and kicks that 44-yarder.
They kick a field goal. They get points out of it.
Well, now you had a lot of bright spots for Central.
Mm-hmm.
You had the quarterback, Jake Preston. He comes in his first year to start at quarterback after Cade Cunningham's gone. He played as a freshman, but then he moved to tight end and he played some defense, and he's been a good contributor his sophomore and junior year, so he has to step up and play quarterback. He's 6'3", weighs 230.
Yep.
Threw a beautiful pass.
Hey, I'll tell you what, the pass to that number 4,
Michael 3.
Hey,
yeah.
To set him up on the first and goal that we was talking about, as pretty a pass as you're going to see.
Yeah.
I mean, that was beautiful. Hit him right in stride. Young man made a good catch and got tackled from behind, but that was beautiful.
Let's see, he had 60 yards rushing, 124 yards pass. Is that what you got?
Yeah, 124 yards pass, and I think his rushing yards went down because of some sacks.
Okay, all right, and actually Shelbyville outgained Tullahoma.
Yes.
And won the turnover battle. Now, Kenny,
it was 278 to 261 total yards, and then the turnover battle and the time of possession was in favor of Shelbyville, 26-32 to 21-28.
We won the ball game everywhere but on the scoreboard, and it's because of that kicker. You come across the 50-yard line.
And penalties.
Yeah.
We
had 45
yards. 45, they were 3 for 20.
Yeah.
But you're going to get that at Tullahoma.
But Kenny, as a head coach, if you look at those stats, you're going to take those stats every time.
You like those stats, but I'm going to tell you, it doesn't matter the outcome of every high school game, every college game, every pro game. You can go back to about 4 or 5 plays.
Yeah.
And you did make them, and they did.
Right.
Yeah.
And if Shelbyville wins, Tullahoma can go back and say there's 4 or 5 plays. And I'm going to tell you, a lot of those plays was off the foot of that kicker.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing, you're going to see that he kicked 3 field goals. Shelbyville has got some speed, and Shelbyville will beat you returning punts and kickoffs. And they will score returning. They never had an opportunity to return a punt. And he kicked every one of his field kickoffs about 5 to 7 yards deep in the end zone.
How big did you think his leg was, though?
He can kick. And
I heard him compared to a former Tennessee kicker, the Hall kid from Franklin County. I don't know if his leg's that strong. Jeff Hall.
I don't know if his leg's
that strong.
He's not there yet. But I'm gonna tell you,
But that's
if
two
he just-
40-yard field goals he kicked in one game. That's pretty good for high school.
if he just started
Yes.
that in the summer, and not been to any kicking coaches, any kicking
That's
camps.
amazing.
He can punt the daylights out of it, right? He's a
he's-
great punter.
Yeah, that's
Flips field.
that's flips the field.
Well, who else stood out on Central Road? I know McBee at linebacker is a good
53
player.
and number 4
Michael 3.
had some good plays on offense, had some good plays on defense. Number 3 on defense, had a few good
Theo
plays.
Washington, yeah.
All right. Number 12 for Shelbyville,
That's Dope, Garrett Dope.
and 18 had a big interception right at the goal line.
William Bobo.
William Bobo.
Okay.
Sophomore.
Okay.
Hey, we're talking sophomore here. 3, let's see.
What was Rocky
he's
Chandler's
a
number?
junior. He's number 11. Rocky's a sophomore.
He had 83 yards and
Yeah.
13 carries.
And, you know, I didn't realize. Somebody told me that 31 was a freshman, so I
Right.
was watching him.
Mhm.
And when I was watching 11, I thought, well, 31's playing behind a senior. Well, then after it was over with, I found
Yeah.
out 11 was a sophomore.
Watch out about
Yeah.
31.
That backfield's going to be pretty stout.
They are.
Especially if they find a way to put both of them on the field at the same time.
Yeah, boy.
With the quarterback, if they somehow or another you can run a few of them receivers off and sort of flare one of them guys,
Get the
And
ball in their hands.
get them out in the open, because you can tell they've got good eyes, good vision, can make people
They got
miss.
good speed and they're pretty strong
Mhm.
for to be as small. But they both weigh about 170, 180 pounds.
Yeah, they're not real big, but they don't have wasted weight.
No, they don't. They're pure muscle.
31's got a chance to be special.
Well, that's I've heard a lot of good things.
True freshman out there doing that.
Yeah.
Chance to
Well,
be special.
Central's got Marshall County coming up, and that's going to be a tough one.
That's a tough one there.
Yeah, they went over to Columbia and thumped them 41-20. So we've got to go. Well, we don't have to go. We've got a home game here. At least we do get them at home. But Marshall County's going to bring athletes to Central Stadium.
What I've
Thursday
been
night.
told this year is the coach is saying this is the best team. Not just saying Marshall County. This is the best team that he's ever coached,
That's saying a lot.
and he's
Yeah.
had some pretty good
Yeah, he
teams, because he was there. He was at Grundy. He was at Giles County when they had their big runs, and you know this bunch is supposed to be pretty talented.
All right, so we've got that region only has 5 in it. We've got Cookeville, Warren County, Coffee County, Lebanon, and who else? It's us. Out of that, Lebanon is probably picked to win that region, and it's wide open from there. Now, if
Mhm.
Central can weather the storm early here, the first 2 games, we don't have a region game until we get to the 5th game of the year.
Well, and Shelbyville, arguably probably their best offensive lineman, 78, the house kid,
Right.
wasn't able to play Friday night because he had pulled a muscle in his back lifting
Okay,
weights or something. So they didn't have him until very end of the game. They get another player or two to step up in their offensive line. They can throw the ball. They got good receivers out there that can throw the ball, but they get a little more. Quarterback runs the ball well. The other receivers, they can move the ball offensively.
Yeah,
And
no doubt.
I didn't think their defense was that bad. I thought their defense played pretty good.
They took care of the running game. Tullahoma had 62 yards or something like that. 61 yards of total rushing. They got most of theirs in the middle of the field passing the ball.
Yeah.
And
Tullahoma's offensive line's not what it was
Yeah,
last
They
yeah.
year.
graduated a lot of
There
guys.
ain't no way their offensive line could
Yeah.
be what it was last year.
yeah,
Because it's pretty special last
yeah,
year.
yeah. And they got
But
The bottom line for Central's is we're not a 6A school, y'all. We're just not. I know it was reclassified. Central High School's got no business playing against other high schools with 3,000 students. It's not fair.
you know, I was telling David earlier, reclassification's coming up again.
Yeah.
They're going into it. And the way they do the reclassification, here's why Shelbyville 6A. If it were back into 5 classifications, they wouldn't be there.
Yep.
Okay? But they take the number of the number of schools that play high school football. Let's just arbitrarily, for easy math, say it's 300. Say there's 300 schools that play high school football. There's 6 classifications in public school. So 6 into 300 is 50. So the 50 schools with the highest enrollment are 6A. Then 51 through 100 are 5A. 101 through 150, so forth and so on. Now, if a school is 5A and they want to move up to 6A, they can. If a school is at 102 and they want to move to 6A, they can, but you can't drop down. Hey, the same thing happened to me.
Did. Cascade.
My last year at Cascade, we were the smallest 3A school in the state. And that year, for some reason, TSSAA had a brainstorm.
Oh, what?
That 3A schools and 4A schools played against each other in the same conference during the regular season. So not only were we the smallest,
You were having to play fours.
we were having to play 4A schools, and the only other 3A school in our conference that year was CPA.
Oh,
Wow.
Oh.
And one of the 4A schools in our conference that year was Giles County.
Oh, my goodness.
We lost to Page week 9, and if we hadn't lost to Page week 9, we would have lost to Giles and to CPA, which wound up runner-up in 4A, 3A, and 4A in the state championship.
Wow, that's
But
unreal.
all these classifications have taken some things away from high school football. I wish
I
they would
agree.
go smaller. We've taken the rivalry games.
We don't have one.
TSSAA's lost the gates.
Yeah.
I mean, they've lost the gates.
And that's one of the things they're talking about. You know, when you only had 3 classifications,
Yeah.
you could have more and you could play closer.
Right.
Just like,
Absolutely.
you know, back when I was at Shelbyville, we played Franklin County, Tullahoma,
Lincoln County.
Lincoln County,
Columbia, Coffee.
Big crowds.
Big
The gates were
County,
wonderful.
Good, great,
great.
good, great. And everybody's talking about that.
That's right.
Everybody's saying that. But you only have 3 state championships, and everybody wants a trophy.
Oh, yeah,
I'm all right
that's the
with that.
problem right there.
Or at
Everybody
least go
wants
back
a
to
trophy.
5 and not have the 6. Then
Well,
they had one here, they had one here, and they
They're
really hurt
going
themselves.
to do what they're going to do. And I just.
Well, it's hurt TSSAA like it's a portion of that gate, correct? And these gates being down because of this, they get a
They get a half.
So
They get
Well-
a half. But here's the thing: you want half of 6 of them, or you just want half of 5 of them.
if the gate's not as big, if the gates are bigger on the 5, I'd do that
It's
to
like
the gate.
this. It's like this. I'm gonna pay you $15 an hour.
Right.
You want to work 5 hours a day or 4 hours a day?
I see. But if the gate's smaller, the gate's smaller. So if you did the math, they're still losing out to me.
Well, let's. I won't go on a limb here. I'm gonna say Shelbyville's gonna finish second in that region behind Lebanon. I think that most every other team in there, if Shelbyville plays good ball, they can beat them. You got Warren County, you got Coffee County, you got Cookeville. You beat those 3, you're sitting
You
there.
got one team on that schedule we don't want no part of, and we know that.
Who's that?
Which one is it?
Kenwood. We got
No.
Summit.
Summit.
Well, Summit got beat.
Some
Started out again.
they're not.
They're not.
Summit's
They're down.
not what they were. They've lost.
Yeah.
All
The
the
two
kids going to Kentucky.
The 2 twins are in Kentucky right now. So
Yeah, the Wade boys go.
I remember last year
Yeah.
standing there on the sideline. My daughter's a cheerleader at Central, and I looked at the size of those boys last year. And
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not talking. Their skill people were bigger than our linemen.
I know they were tall.
It was
What is it, 6'4" or
unbelievable.
something?
The size some of
yeah, you
that.
let them other SEC schools worry about them now.
Yeah. All right, let's move to community. Community played Lewis County on Friday night. Played tough, led part of the game. Had an opportunity to win at the end, but they got beat.
22-14 at the end of the third quarter, and I don't know what's changed in Lewis County. But Coach, you'll remember this. Lewis County always
Well,
was tough.
Here's what I found out Friday night. Because I was at Moore County, and Moore County superintendent was running the chains. He coached at Lewis County under Bobby Sharp.
Mhm.
And I asked him, I said, how's Coach Sharp doing? He said, well, you know he's not at Lewis County anymore. I said, do what? Coach Sharp moved, and he's now the head coach at Columbia. So Lewis County has got a new head coach, and
I didn't know that either.
I didn't know that until Friday night. But still, a program rich in tradition, been there,
Lewis
been there,
County is
been
that.
there, and but don't take anything away from community.
Yeah.
They hung in there with them, and community's got an athlete
The receiver.
by the name of Fleming that is a player. He is a skilled player. You know, we talked about 31 and 11, and some of them guys fits right in there with him. You get him in space, and he's going to make you look bad. And if you can't run, he's going to be behind you. And that's what happened. He got behind Lewis County twice. I know a 76 and I think another one was 64 or something yard.
Yeah.
He's a player.
Long pass plays. And,
He's a
and
player.
obviously they've got a quarterback. Coach's son
The coach's son, the groom's kid,
can get the
knows
ball
how
to
to
him.
get it to him, well schooled. Yeah.
The defensive side of the ball can't be too bad. I think they're going. They've got some young ones. I know they had some freshmen on the field.
Mm-hmm.
They had a wide array of players. They weren't
Right.
dominated by one class. So
Exactly.
they've
yeah.
got kids out there that's playing for the first time, and that makes a huge difference.
And you won't Shelbyville, talk about being 5A or being 6A. Community can say the same thing about being 3A.
I don't see how they're 3A and Cascades 2A.
Well, they're bigger than Cascade.
I
Enrollment
find that hard to believe.
enrollment is bigger.
In their
They're-
region,
seriously, I put buses at both
yeah,
of them,
you
and
know.
their enrollment is bigger.
So
They're
you-
bigger by about 60 kids.
You've got the region is Cannon County, Giles County,
No.
Grundy County, and Sequatchie County. So you got Giles County, but community, they can make the playoffs.
Giles County's smiling at this one, though. That's pretty
Yeah.
nice for them. That
Yeah, they're
they've
not
got that
arguing.
laid up.
They're not arguing.
No, they're not. But you got communities got opportunity to go to playoffs
They
if they take
do.
care of
And
business.
let's see.
But look
You
at the
said-
distance of travel again on
Yeah.
this
You
one.
said they've got Grundy.
They've got Grundy County,
Sequatchie
Sequatchie,
County.
Yeah.
and Cannon County.
Now here's the thing. I think they went to Sequatchie and Grundy both last year because I had to put buses there. I think they have both of them home this year. I think they do go to Cannon, but
They got some good home games.
they've got Sequatchie and Grundy at home, and they will probably go to Cannon. Cannon's not
not like they used to.
no,
be,
it's not. Yeah.
All right, so you got that opportunity there. They play Lookout Valley, which beat Mount Juliet Christian.
And they got them at home.
They
so
got them at home, so they don't have to drive to
They
Chattanooga.
had,
Yeah.
and then they've got a game later on this year with Harts County, Kentucky.
Yes.
They don't have to go to them.
Can you imagine having
So
to go?
you look at the miles
Yeah.
that they put on them.
So do we
On
have
the bus,
do we have a Cascade community on the schedule against each
Yes,
other this
yes,
year?
we do.
Yeah.
The Battle of Bedford is intact.
Mm-hmm.
That needs to always stay.
And
And he's
it'll
always
be-
staying where you at.
Yeah, it'll be at Cascade this year. It was at Community last year.
All right, so you got community shaping up where they could end up in the playoffs.
Exactly.
And you've got Central that could end up in playoffs. And if Cascade takes care of business, it's going to be tough for them.
They can end
But
up.
they
in the
could end up
playoffs.
there
Sure they
too.
can.
Now,
Sure.
Webb, 0-9 last year, came out, won their first game this year. They ended up beating Red Bull in Springs 37-7. And you got to think that's got that program excited about getting out with a win.
Well,
the first
All I
game.
know is what I read in the Times Gazette, and the coach sounded excited.
Right.
The kids sounded excited, and they've got kids from everywhere. They had 2 touchdowns, a Canadian to a Canadian quarterback, a Canadian receiver. They're bringing them in. I mean, Webb, have you watched the Titans game on TV the other night?
Webb was advertised.
Webb
on.
is advertising.
Yeah, did you notice
on it.
that?
Yeah.
So they're out there,
They were sponsoring part of the Titans. game.
and they've got an artificial turf game
Yeah.
field,
Yeah.
football and baseball. So they're putting
They're spending money on that program.
they're getting behind their athletic programs. Basketball teams, we all know their basketball teams have either won a state or being high up in the state in both boys and girls in the last 3 or 4 years.
And you got to think that Keon Johnson has made a huge impact on the athletic department.
And it all got started. The new headmaster, that's what he's.
Yeah.
But Coach sounds excited, and what I heard from him is, wasn't just talking about his athlete, talking about the chemistry, the kids, how they're bonding together and coming together. I mean, when you take kids from everywhere and bring them to play together and got to be a team and don't know each other,
Right.
That's
and they're coming from different cultures too.
exactly.
I mean, they're coming from all over the world.
I think with my schedule, I think I'm gonna get to be able to watch them.
It'd be fun to watch them. I know they have
a
a small squad. I think they got like 21 or 22 players,
Yeah.
but if they've got the chemistry, that's a good thing. Good
If
thing.
you got 22, you can still go 11 on 11 in practice.
That's right.
I remember the days we didn't have
Didn't have that.
16.
Yeah. All right. So that region, of course, is in Division 2.
And that's a tough
1A
region.
East. They've got Grace Baptist, Friendship Christian, Kings Academy, MTCS. Okay, they're tough.
They're coming
And
on.
then Lakeway Christian. So you got 2 or 3 teams in there. It's pretty tough. Webb coming out with a big win. They got to be feeling good about it. I got an opportunity probably to make the playoffs as well. So
Well, it takes a lot longer. Coach, you can speak to this, to build a football program at a Webb, because in basketball, you go get a Keon and go get 1 or 2, you can be pretty good. In football, whole nother ball game.
Yeah.
You've got to go get lots of players, not just 2 or 3. And it takes time to get there.
And you've got to be able to, you may have them this year, but are they going to be there next year?
That's right.
You don't know, you got to be able to build, and it'll take time. But
Well, they're off to a good start this year.
That's right.
We got to wish all of our teams the best. Everybody
agree.
get out there
Absolutely.
and
Support
support
your
your team. Go to the games. Give these kids a pat on the back, win or lose.
That's
And
exactly right.
that's the key to
these
it.
kids are representing our community, and we got to get behind them.
They did a good job this past weekend representing our community. Even though we only got 1 win, we've got something to look forward to. And guys, I don't know about y'all, but I feel like high school football is the purest form of football right now. You've got college football that's changed so drastically over the last couple of years. And that kicks off this week.
Just the last year.
Yeah.
Just
I
the
mean,
last
it's like
year.
the NCAA looks like it's completely dismantled. You got the transfer portal. You got kids getting contracts for this likeness.
Name, image, and likeness.
Yeah,
And that
it's
may
just-
do us in.
Yeah. So, man, it
Make
makes
it
me
tough.
like high school football even more. And we're not going to get into college, but we will as the season gets going. It's time to wrap this thing up. And I just want to thank you 2 guys for sitting down and sharing your thoughts on the games. We look forward to
I
having
just
you
remind
back.
everybody the Central game now is Thursday night, not
Thursday
Friday
night,
night. I think it's their
yes.
last Thursday night game.
Yeah, Central is. I'll just go ahead and say this because it's going to happen. Central is Thursday this week. Cascade is home Thursday next week. So, and then Community's Thursday night game, I believe, is the next to the last game of the season.
And the reason here is the lack or ability to get officials. Isn't that what I've been told?
My understanding is, because of the lack of officials for high school football and the number it takes, the state has asked every school to play at least 1 Thursday night game at home, and they're asking them to, and this is a big thing coming up in the new TSSAA, making them non-region games. I know when I was reading the minutes from the other, when they redo next year and they do their schedules, they're going to try to fix it where the Thursday night games are non-region games.
Yeah, that would be best. That's a good move. Well, guys, thanks again. Thanks to our
Travis, appreciate
sponsors, First Bank and Craig Wheeler Realty. We're going to come back after the horse show. We're going to do this one more time, probably on Sunday afternoon or Monday. Like now, I know there's not a lot of people out there that can watch this time, but we're going to be kicking off on Saturday mornings once the horse show gets by us. And we'll be able to have more comments coming in and people asking questions and giving their take too. And we look forward to that. But guys, thanks for watching. Watch again real soon. We'll have a Shelbyville Now Ahead of the Curve show coming up soon. And then we'll be back with Shelbyville Now Live next Sunday or Monday. We'll post it on Facebook and let you know. Thanks for watching.